He has swindled money from the temple, Matta, as a Matadish. Punish him, Ram says, sir, but he's a very nice gentleman in the past. Rule is rule, rule for all. Punish him. Same punishment you have to give me, to Sita, to Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrugna. Anybody, rule, nobody is above law. That is wrong, strict. And if you are a temple president during Krishna's time, and you have done the same mistake, and the message goes to Krishna, my Lord, he has swindled, not like today, this is like 5,000 years ago. He has done such a wrong thing. For according to our law, according to our laws, he should be punished severely. Krishna says, is he my devotee by any chance? Oh yes, my Lord. Then scare him. Chodo unko. Is not my devotee? Punish him. Krishna is very partial to his devotees. So by chance you are Krishna's devotee during the Dwapar Yuga, then you are excused. And now Kali Yuga, you have done the same mistake. So Dharma Parayan is Ram, Leela Parayan is Krishna, Prema Parayan is Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya as Yuga Avatar, he will ask what he did. My Lord, he has swindled money from the temple. Lord Chaitanya says, why he has swindled? Looks like he doesn't have enough money. So make him GBC and give him monthly salary. Probably he doesn't have money, that's why he's doing this. Hey, you all promised that you will not do it. That is Lord Chaitanya. Srila Prabhupada was in Atlanta one day, and Bhagavatam class, Prabhupada would start with what? Jai Radha Madhava. That day, what he did, he sang. They opened the altar. In the center is Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu, Gaurnita. Immediately sang, Parama Karuna Bahundvijana Nitai Gaura Chandra Parama Karuna. Unlimited causeless mercy of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda. One time, no names, one person was actually, he came to ISKCON with he joined ISKCON, never learned from the past mistakes. We allow each and everyone to come inside. Then what happened? He became a part of ISKCON. He's following. If you attend Mangalarti, you become a member action. As simple as that. In few days, you can go on the altar also when nobody is there. So then what he did, he started, in the name of ISKCON, he started collecting funds for himself. He started collecting funds for himself. So, when you go Tilak, nowhere it is written that, in fact, it is very easy when you go with an attire, right? And then Tamil Krishna Maharaj went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, he is doing this. In the name of ISKCON, he is actually spoiling our name and he is abusing, this is actually 50 years ago. Prabhupada was there. Prabhupada said, that's okay. No, Prabhupada is actually, he's bringing bad name. And people come to temple, then we tell them, he's not appointed like that. So we need to immediately report to police. Prabhupada said, you don't know the causeless mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu. You have no idea. That's okay. Then one time, one crazy person joined full-time in ISKCON temple. He himself says he was manic depressive. Manic depressive means suddenly in the middle of the night you would get up, probably you would pick a rock and throw on next guy. He was such manic depressive, he was such manic depressive. Yeah. The temple president went to Srila Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, he should not stay there. It's a serious mental case. We should not keep him. Prabhupada said, the whole world has rejected them. They have become hippies and drug addicts. Because they have no shelter, because they're homeless, instead of sleeping on the roads, they have taken our temple shelter. I cannot tell them to go away. Prabhupada is dangerous. Prabhupada said, no. What is the difference between outsiders and us? I cannot reject. Then Prabhupada said, you don't know the causeless mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. You don't know that. Lord Ramchandra came to establish the ideal human behavior. Krishna came to showcase the beautiful pastimes, leelas, and make it in 15th chapter Gita, he makes an advertisement. Come back, my children. You all belong to me, spiritual world. But Lord Chaitanya, in the history of eternity, he not only staged pastimes, he became a preacher. And what he did, he went through so many ordeals only to reclaim all of us. Practically none of us knew the advantage of being here today. Nobody knew the power of being here today. None of us knew the grace of our being today here. Why? Lord Chaitanya wanted us to break the cycle of birth and death and go back to spiritual world, live there eternally happy. So first time Krishna became, always Krishna would come as a Kshatriya, Ram, Krishna, but Lord Chaitanya, he came as a preacher to petition you to get rid of your impurities and follow him back to unlimited happiness. How many of you understand? My request to you, it's only once a year, Many people do not actually know. So cannot comprehend. So he not only he cried for us, practically all the associates he came up with. Krishna Varnam Disha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagnir Sankirtanayarpaya Yajanti Sumedasa. As a Yugavatar, he inaugurated Sankirtan movement. But he made all his preachers go through so much suffering so that it would evoke compassion in others so that they would take up the path. Haridas Thakur was persecuted and beaten close to death in 22 marketplaces. Haridas Thakur forgave every one of his perpetrators. Nityananda Prabhu head was smashed. Balram directly. Sankarshana Karana Toi Sai, Garbhoda Sai, Chapayo Sai. Seshas Cheshyas Kalas and Nityananda Kiram Sanghamustu. Balramji, Krishna's first expansion, he was smashed. Madai smashed his head to kill him. But Nityananda Prabhu said, chant the holy name. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya, he gave up his old mother and his wife to take sannyas, only so that he could go door to door, petition all of those people. And what is the advantage of what is the unique thing of Lord Chaitanya? He came to give what nobody gave, Ram did not give, Krishna did not give. He came to give love of God. Prior to being established in ISKCON, one day I went to somebody's home and I saw the picture of Lord Chaitanya. They said, do you know him? I said, I don't know. Anybody, he would see them, they would get love of God. In our words, probably, anybody he would see them, they would be liberated. Anybody would see him, they would be liberated. Either he would see them or they would see him. They would break the cycle of birth and death and they would go back to spiritual world. Do you know him? I said, no. And he would, when he would become ecstatic, his eyes, they would become like, this is a person whom I did not know actually. That much separation he felt from Krishna. So today is his appearance day. I neither have any qualification nor do have any realization. Practically seeking blessings from all of you. As your humble servant, I'll try to present. "18 years he stayed in Jagannath Puri. I'll tell that, I'll repeat again what I said. And 30 to 36, the last years, he exhibited that Divyon Madam, transcendental madness. So Lord Chaitanya, I was telling yesterday to him, not repeat again, but probably a little bit. He came to experience that Krishna Prema the gopis had for Krishna. Narada Muni tells in Narada Bhakti Sutra, Anirvachaniyam Prema Swarupam. If we are in conditioned state, Annamaya and Pranamaya, we know only, our enjoyment is only eating and sleeping and some sense enjoyment and defending. That type of people cannot understand what is prema, what prema is. Prema is on it comes after liberation, Anandamaya stage. So Narada Muni says, who has exemplified in the prema, in this topic, bhakti culminates in prema. Bhakti is the first grade, postdoc is a prema. If bhakti is first grade, postdoc is a prema. In other words, prema, bhakti parakashta prema. So Narada Muni, somebody went and said, Narada Muni, you are the greatest devotee. I definitely not. I'm not the topmost devotee of Krishna. Who is the topmost devotee? Who was exemplified in this bhakti? to relieve Krishna's headache for so Napareyaham Nirvadya Samyudam, this verse is not for what you have done to me. This verse, Ye Yathamam Prapadyante Tamstade Bhajamiham, that failed with gopis. How many of you know Ye Yathamam Prapadyante? Please repeat. But why? Krishna is telling he cannot repay you for one Brahma's lifetime. Krishna is the reservoir of pleasure. Can somebody please stop? So, Krishna is the reservoir of pleasure, but Radharani enjoys that sweetness of Krishna more than Krishna himself. So Krishna said, you're all sitting, I'll give a small example. I am speaking. For me to understand what you will think of the speaker, I have to give up the seat and sit down there and let some of you speak here. Then I'll understand the audience mood for the speaker. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rest everyone, they are jivas. I told the same example Sunday. So because Krishna, today, I don't know how many items we made today. Afternoon we offered 84. And evening, more or less same number. And everyone is fasting since morning from Nirjal, right? Krishna's happiness is eating them. Our happiness is seeing Krishna eat that. Our happiness is service. So Krishna keeps on going like this. Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, Janmashtami is Krishna's happiness. Enjoying. What is our happiness? Serving. One day Krishna says, Arya, 7 o'clock Kirtan, they jumped up and danced more than I do. My happiness is eating, but they are fasting and they are serving. It looks like they are enjoying more than I do. Everyone is understanding? One day Krishna says, bore ho gaya. I don't want to eat. Then what do you want to? I want to come in the audience and I want to fast. I want to cook and dance with you. How many of you are understanding? This is the best example actually. Because everybody is fasting, he's telling yes, good example. Book lag raha, When you are fasting, what is your happiness? I am still fasting. Are you fasting? No, I am fasting. Are you fasting? No. What about I am fasting? Your ego is satisfied. Anyway, so how many of you understood? This is what happened. Krishna kept on relishing that enjoyment. Radharani, the topmost devotee, kept on serving and relishing service. One day said, Arya, she is finding more happiness than me. If I want to understand the happiness of all my devotees, including Radharani, I think I should leave this position and come in that position. And what he did, that he skipped that position and he came as Lord Chaitanya. One day, one reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, I have a question for you. Yes. Can Krishna create a rock that he cannot lift? American reporters would give trouble to Prabhupada like anything. And Prabhupada would face every bouncer very comfortable and make it into sixer. Prabhupada said, this is a very tricky question. Can Krishna create a rock that he cannot lift? Prabhupada said, yes, he can create a rock. Then he lifted. So, means everything is possible with Krishna. In other words, when Krishna cannot do something, what he will do? He will adopt a mechanism to do that. So when he did everything, his cause of all causes. One thing Krishna could not understand. What is that? Could not fathom. Radharani's love for Krishna is infinite. Krishna said, if I have to understand, I should come as a devotee. I am not repeating what he repeated in the morning, the 3 internal reasons, the external reasons. But he came to experience the devotee mood, Radharani's mood. Radha Bhava Solitam Nami Krishna Sarupam. But as a Yugavatar, he came to distribute that same love. You know? Simple thing. If you are H1, you will know H1 problems. If you are a green card, you will know green card problems. If you are a citizen of America, you will know American citizens' problems. If you are God, he doesn't know living entities' problems. If you are a living entity, we don't know Krishna's problems. So Krishna came as a living entity, Jiva. Of course, Krishna himself, no doubt. But because he understood our problem, he cried for us. You're stuck in the cycle of birth and death. You are willing to go through so much suffering for this much happiness. Once in a while, gulab jamun, rasgulla. For that, Monday to Friday, keep on working like anything. Production support in the midnight also. You know, are you happy today? Yes, but it is always a but. I'm yet to come across one person. Are you happy? Oh, yes. Without a but. You know. So he came, because he came as a living entity, he empathized with us. Premarasa niryasa korite aswadan. Ragamarga bhakti loke korite pracharan. He came to experience the mood of Radharani, is Krishna himself. But he wanted to give that intense ecstatic emotion that he is experiencing, the Radharani's emotion. And he wanted to give it to all of us. Otherwise, a person who comes first time here, first of all, he cannot understand what is happening. And if you continue like this, session will never end, actually. You know? So, I'm sorry. So, yesterday we saw, yes. So in the childhood, he was a scholar. I'm skipping this. He defeated Keshav Kashmiri. And Keshav Kashmiri, he was actually had the blessing of Mother Saraswati. Keshav Kashmiri was floored, dumbfounded. He could not imagine that he would be defeated by a grammar teacher, a very young boy. So that night he slept and he prayed to Mother Saraswati. Mother Saraswati came in the dream. Mother, I have defeated practically the whole world. And today, I experienced defeat in the hands of this simple boy, a grammar teacher. Why you did not come to rescue? Saraswati said, oh, Keshav Kashmiri, he is not a simple boy and not a grammar teacher. is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. I feel shy to come before him. All my knowledge is because of him. Whatever the grace I bestowed on you is from him. If you really ask me, that is the best thing happened to you, that you were defeated by him. Tomorrow, you go and surrender to him. He is Krishna himself. So Keshav Kashmiri surrendered. He was born under a neem tree. Parents and neighbors would call him Nimai. And in the childhood, he loved to hear the holy name. In fact, he appeared, on this day, 1486, Falguna Purnima. It was eclipse, So all the Hindus, he appeared in Bengal on the bank of Ganga. All the Hindus went to the bank of Ganga because if during eclipse, if you take any mantra, especially Krishna mantra, Hari mantra, you'll have a lot of potency. People would stay in the waters. I used to see this even 30, 40 years before. Now no one does. And they were all the people, Hindus, they were chanting Hari, 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 Hari loud. The Muslims, why they are chanting Hari, Hari? We'll also chant Hari, Hari. Muslims joined with Hindus start chanting Hari, 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 Hari. When the whole world was reverberating with the transcendental sound of the holy name, Hari, Hari, Hari. Hari, 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 Hari. He descended into this world, making very clear what his mission is all about. So in his childhood, whenever he would cry, the best way to stop his crying is just to say Hari, Hari. What? Hari, Hari. Immediately he'll stop crying. But okay, he stopped crying. If you stop Hari, Hari, he'll start again. He start again they'll say Hari, Hari. Hari, Hari. And he would stop. It became actually play for all the ladies in the neighborhood. When nobody chants, he would cry. So when they would come and chant, Hari, Hari would stop. And they would test him. They would stop him. He again would start. Because if he found happiness as a 1-month-old boy or 1-year-old boy, they named him Gaura Hari. His grandfather, he saw on his palms and soles of the feet the divine marks which are visible only in Krishna or Vishnu Tattva or Radharani. He told, your son is Narayan. He will deliver all the 3 worlds. So he named him Vishwambar. So in order to emphasize the importance of a spiritual master, Lord Chaitanya did not exhibit his divinity until he got initiated. So one day, he was initiated. He went to Gaya. He goes to Gaya to perform Shraddha for his father. There he meets Ishwarapuri and he receives initiation. Once he received that initiation, he is no longer a scholar, but is a volcano, golden volcano of love of God. He came to experience that love of God exhibited by gopis, especially separation. So always the way, that when tears would flow from his eyes, it would flood the entire area. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Intense. What is the first lesson? We all should have Guru. Cats and dogs and not very advanced people cannot accept a spiritual master. Only few advanced people, they'll accept a spiritual master with the purpose to cleanse the heart and attain love of God and go back to spiritual world. So what he did, he received that, initiation from Ishwarapuri and he started exhibiting the divinity. Please don't read that. If you can't, that's fine. But as a Yugavatar, he came to inaugurate Sankirtan movement. That's why, can everybody read the mantra on the top loud?
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
So he received initiation and he came back and he is no longer a very scholarly Nimai Pandit. Only one thing, So one day he told all the devotees, come to my home, I have a pain in my heart. They all went. And they all assembled in Suklamar Brahmachari's home. And he said, I was coming back from Gaya. On the way, I saw Krishna. Is Krishna himself, of course, combination of Radha and Krishna. But Lord Ramchandra, throughout his life, Lord Ram, I'm not changing the topic. Whenever you would ask Ram would say, who are you? I'm Dashratha Nandan Ram. I am a son of Dashratha. That is how Ram would deal with others. I'm a Kausalya Nandan Ram. Likewise, Lord Chaitanya, though Krishna himself, he came to experience the mood of devotees. He always dealt with himself as a devotee. With others also, I'm a devotee. How many of you understood? That is his external way of dealings. So I was coming back to Navadvip. On the way, by the side of the road, I saw Krishna. And he described the beauty of Krishna. Then I went close to him and he disappeared, leaving me alone. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And tears filled up in his eyes. He embraced Suklamar Brahmachari, started crying. The environment was filled with unlimited spiritual energy. They thought he is one among us, one among us themselves. The next day he went to school as a teacher. Students were very happy. He said, sir, any questions? He asked, any questions? Sir, explain to us the verbal root. Verb. He's a grammar teacher, right? Because in grammar, what is very crucial part? Verb. Lord Chaitanya said, the dhatu. What is the dhatu of the verbal root? Ever since he came back, is only one thing. Krishna is the root cause of the verb. Entire grammar comes from Krishna. The root cause of everything in this world is Krishna. The energy you have is Krishna. The intelligence you have is Krishna. This body is given by Krishna. When that super soul, Krishna, leaves the body, soul also leaves the body, and this body becomes ashes. The way verb is very important. For the maintenance of this body, Krishna is very important. Students were thinking, this is a grammar class or philosophy class? And he said, let us right now go to Ganga. On the way they came, there was one gentleman reading Bhagavatam, reading about the beauty of Krishna. When he read about it, Lord Chaitanya became ecstatic. Go on reading. His ears were standing on end. When Lord Chaitanya would cry, this entire area would be flooded. And he kept on reading, and Lord Chaitanya was rolling on the ground. Hare Krishna. So Gadadhar Pandit came and said, no, don't read. Stop. So this went on for 10 days. I'm cutting the story short. Finally, one day he asked his students, whatever I'm telling you is making sense? No, sir. Ever since you came back, you returned from Gaya, the only word we hear from your mouth is Krishna. But of course, what you're telling is right. The goal of human life is to cleanse the heart and awaken the love of God, and awaken that love for Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said, 10 days it's happening and you don't tell me? And immediately he took the rope and he tied the books and he said, I cannot work, I'm sorry. So let us all, he said, you're all graduated, you can go home. I think we should have a teacher like that. So he said, after studying under you, we cannot study under anybody. So we are happy that we are graduated. That too, and my part is giving certificate means they'll get the job very easy, like IIT certificate. So they know that. So we will not study from anybody. So then we will go to, he said, goal of human life is to awaken the love of God. They said, sir, how to awaken that love of God? You want to really know? I said, yes. So you do Sankirtan. How to do Sankirtan? This is the day all the demigods have been waiting ever since Kali started. On the bank of Ganga, Lord Chaitanya said, you all stand in circle and chant, Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This mantra, Golokira Premodan Harinam Sankirtan. It is not like any other mantras. When I am sick, I go to Hanuman temple. When I go to, I need somewhere, I go to Baba temple, that temple, this temple. This mantra, it will give everything. You don't need anything else. Because this mantra came directly from a spiritual world. Golokira Premadana, Harinama Sankirtana, Golokira. This is the Premadan of Golokura in the Krishna Loka. Lord Chaitanya brought it. Krishna brought Govardhan, Krishna brought Vrindavan, Krishna brought Yamuna, Krishna brought Vrajavasis, Radharani with him. But Lord Chaitanya brought what? If somebody underestimates that, they are the most unfortunate. Somebody becomes sincere with this mantra, even only one mantra a day, fine. Or one round a day, fine. Or 16 rounds a day, fine. 64 rounds a day, fine. 192 rounds a day, fine. But please, be sincere with this. Because it is a Golokera Primadan. It is not ordinary. It is not another traded mantra. Lord Chaitanya brought this for only one purpose. Whoever would chant, they would eventually go back to spiritual world. How many of you want to go back to spiritual world? Hold on to that. It was given in Kalsandra Upanishad, but in a reverse way. But what Lord Chaitanya brought was directly from spiritual world. He inaugurated a Sankirtan movement. And what is that? Bhakti is two types. What is that? Bhakti is Sadhana Bhakti, it is called. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti means, hey, you want to come to temple? Definitely not. You want to come and wash pots? Oh, definitely not. You want to come and take prasad? I think, oh yes. So, mind, anything easy, mind says yes. How many of you say, today is Monday, you love Monday? Raise your hand. That Prabhu probably doesn't work. That's why he's raising his hand. I'm joking, actually. So those of you working very hard, do you love Monday or not? Children are also not raising. How many of you love Friday evening? Right? Natural. So will you go to work or not? Though your mind is telling don't go, you go to work. That is Vaidhi Bhakti. Though you are not liking it, you'll go. So likewise, though mind is telling don't worship Krishna, somehow you push yourself. What is it called? Vaidhi Bhakti. Vidhi, discipline. You know? So how many of you love to eat gulab jamun? 1 or 2 or 3 continuously. So this is prasad. You want to eat gulab jamun, yes or no? Yes. So when you have that attraction to eat gulab jamun because it is prasad, that is Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous. Mind will never tell no to it. You know, how many of you agree? Why only 2, sir? 1 more. 2 more, no problem. So likewise, a day will come when your bhakti is so spontaneous. You want to do anything for the pleasure of Krishna. That is Raganuga. Lord Chaitanya came to give that. So your mind will go for Raganuga path only when you enjoy that process. How many of you love Kirtan? How many of you love sitting and chanting? Because mind gives trouble. But Kirtan, jumping up and down, you can cut down the weight, you can accumulate bhakti, you feel good. How many of you love Kirtan? Raganuga. How many love Japa? No. So Lord Chaitanya came to give that. You know? What he did? He came to freely distribute. So whether you follow with attraction or whether you follow, mind is telling no, follow. Because the end result is great. But what he was doing like this, but what happened? Some people were taking him cheap. He is also like us only, He was born with us, his father is maybe a scholar, he may be a scholar. We are also scholars. But he exhibited his divinity within his core group. He revealed his Krishna form, everything in Srivas Thakur home. Can you see their offering? Pancha Tattva. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Everyone. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta. So he was actually in the house of Srivas Thakur. He was exhibiting his divinity. He was dancing that, and he was showing his wonderful, leelas. But outsiders, they could not understand him. They became critical of him and what he did. He decided to take sannyas. By the time he decided to take sannyas, his mother, she gave in the early, before he was born, she gave birth to 8 children, they all died. 9th son, Vishwarup, took sannyas and left at the age of 10. Husband passed away. Only one, she was putting him in her eyes and she was leading her life. And at old age, he was willing to leave her. He took sannyas when he was 24 and his wife was 14. Vishnupriya was 14 actually. But why did he leave them? So that he would go door to door, village to village, countryside to countryside, state to state, and look at them, glance at them, and give them love of God. So actually, Lord Ram came. I don't know how many of you know. They hardly enjoyed. Then Kaika said, go to the forest. He went to forest, killed Ravana, came back. No troubles, everyone was looking for amazing. But somebody leveled allegation. One washerman, and he banished her. Krishna also at the age of 10 years, 7 months, 11 years old, he left Vrindavan. He couldn't come back for a very long time. So not only this world is difficult for us, Because it is difficult for us, Krishna also experiences difficulty on our behalf. But here Lord Chaitanya, what he did, sacrifice. Only to bring those people who are inaccessible or who are rejecting him. So mother was wailing. His wife, same thing Vishnu. So before he disappeared from this world, literally disappeared, this is what he did. You know, he cried for us. When he said, Jeev Jaga, Gaur Chandra Bole, Potanidra Java Malak Pisachir. When he saw Maya's taking us away from Krishna and Maya is putting us on the sleep of sense enjoyment, he cried for us. That's why he would go and personally look at everyone and infuse in their heart. He would cleanse their heart and infuse Krishna Prema. For that reason, he went to South India. Practically, he transformed everyone's heart. As if, how did he start? So as soon as he took sannyas, he moved to Puri, Jagannath Puri, on the request of his mother. But why did he go? Why did he travel? Only to deliver each and everyone. That time. Krishna, 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 Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Vahima. Nobody likes spiritual life, but when that spiritual life gives you unlimited joy, the joy of the soul, awakening from within the heart, who would say no to it? We love because it is enjoyment. Trillion times more enjoyment than gulab jamun is actually million times more enjoyment than sensual pleasure is, not against a million, but higher than sensual pleasure is mental pleasure, higher than mental pleasure is intellectual pleasure, higher than that of ego, but higher than all these pleasures is heavenly pleasures. Higher than heavenly pleasures is pleasure of liberation. But compared to the enjoyment on the level of love of God, this liberation, impersonal liberation is not even a drop. That much joy. When he would look at them, he would sing the song we sang, and on the way he would look at somebody, Hari Hari. They would say Hari Hari. What is that? That's it. You have to look at him, they will look at you. Then means Lord Chaitanya. Immediately you would cleanse their heart and infuse Krishna Prema in their heart. That's why 11th canto of Bhagavatam says, Siva Virinchi Nutam Saranyam. He came to give what Brahma and Shiva are looking for. Dhyam Sada Paribhognam Abhishtadoham Tirdaskadam Siva Virinchi Nutam Saranyam Pratyardam Pranatava Bhavavdi Bodham Vande Mahaprabhu Charana Arvind. So he came what Shiva and looking for, Shiva and Brahma looking for freely. And he did not give it to very pious people, gave it to fallen people, drug addicts, gamblers, murderers, and rapists he gave. So, for that reason he took sannyas. His mother said, why are you laying me? In Mayapur, there is a place called, in Bengal, it's called a Nidhai Ghat, but in Sanskrit, it's Nirdhai Ghat. Nirdhai Ghat means merciless. Why? In the dead of the night, he woke up walking fearlessly to the bank of Ganga, to jump into the Ganga, swim across, go to the other side of Ganga, Katwa, and take Reno's daughter. So he was leaving his mother, old mother. There was nobody to maintain the family. But of course, he said, Mother, I'll maintain you. When I came as your Prusni, I took birth from your womb as Prusni Garbha. Then when I came as Vamandev, that time you were Aditi, So then, what is that? I came as Krishna, then you are Devaki. So in this incarnation, I am Lord Chaitanya, and you too, what are the two? As a deity, when I come as a deity, you are my mother too. But as a holy name, I incarnate. Anybody who chants that holy name, Hare Krishna mantra, you will incarnate as tongue. Mother, you will be taken care. But mother says, oh, thank you, you go. Mother says like that. I am saying like that because I am not a mother. Mother knows. Mother says, all right, all these things are fine, you stay here only. He didn't stay. His wife was sleeping inside. So, all the devotees, they have to. So, can you see this Hare Krishna mantra? We are all stuck in the cycle of birth and death. And this is the Hare Krishna mantra, Lord Chaitanya. That time his glance would be enough to infuse Krishna Prema for the future generations who gave us the process through his devotees to take you from the cycle of birth and death. This world is temporary. If you have taken birth in 1990, add 60 years to it, 70 years to it, or 80 years to it, then after that you won't be there. How many of you agree? This is continuing since the time of memorial. But open a bank account, not in chase. Bhakti. Prema account. You don't need to come back to listen to this lecture again. If not, I won't be there, but somebody else will be there. You have to come back. This time Ford, next time GM. Same old age. So what he did, he has given us a process of how to pray. One day I sat in my office. They give a nice prasad. That is my introduction to Hare Krishna on Monday morning. What is that? They give nice prasad. Will you come? Oh, definitely. That is how I was hooked. So if you have little faith and chant the holy name, we'll take only 1 minute. So can somebody read these words together? Second one. Third one. Fourth one. Fifth one. I don't need to mention that, but ninth one. 10th one. Maya will not catch you. Nobody can catch.